not everybody looks at him so highly. Chase had his top 5 quarterbacks. Shedeur, you see him as number 2. Jackson Dart is 3. Kyle McCord at 4. And Jalen Milroe, sneaks in there as the top 5. But, Chase, I got a question because I see your top 5 quarterbacks. But the question for me
That was yours?
Yeah. Would it be crazy for Shedeur Sanders to fall out of the top 5 in the draft?
I don't think so. Like, top 5, to me, you got to look at fit. And if the Tennessee Titans, which we all think are going to go Cam Ward, okay, it's just process of elimination. They're going Cam Ward. Cam Ward is my number 1 quarterback on that board. It got cut off, okay? Number 2, Cleveland Browns. For all intents and purposes, they are going with Abdul Carter, okay? And then number 3, the Giants. Everyone has been telling us, the Giants have been telling us that they want to pick Travis Hunter. They signed Russell Wilson. Mm-hmm. So then the 4 and 5, they don't need quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. So it's not crazy to me at all that Shedeur would fall outside the top 5. In fact, I'd almost appreciate it if he does. And I say this because if you go top 5, there is a lot of pressure on you to play right away, right? We talked about this the other day. Like, hey, can Shedeur, if he gets picked 3 at the Giants, can he go in? Should he play right away? This, that, and another. It's not a bad thing if you don't get drafted in the top 5. Like, I just want to make sure everyone understands that. You're probably going to end up going in the first round. In fact, if you go in the 20s, or if you go, fall down there, like Aaron, I feel like a team would come back up into the first round, get you, and you would go to a better situation where you do not have to play right away. And I think that's the biggest thing for Shedeur. I think he needs a year to learn. And that's not a bad thing. There's been plenty of quarterbacks out there that need to sit and to learn and to put him in the right position. Fit and scheme and coaching, in my opinion, for quarterbacks is way more important than just, the confidence or you're bragging. I went top 5. I don't care about that. I care about what situation are you in, and can you succeed in that situation for years to come?
What's most important to a quarterback's success early on?
Oh, it's fit and scheme.
But what specifically, right? Would you say head coach, offensive coordinator? Would you say receivers?
So you want to go to a team with an offensive head coach. You do not want to be, you know how I feel about defensive head coaches in terms of developing quarterbacks. If you go to a team with an offensive head coach and with a scheme that fits Shedeur can fit a lot of schemes, actually. I've seen him do some RPO. He's more of a classical drop-back passer, has a strong enough arm to make all the throws around the NFL. But you got to go to a team with some pieces around you. You can't just go to a team and expect from day one, it just doesn't happen a lot, to elevate a team to a level that's championship.
But here's the problem, right, is I would suggest there's no better coach fit scheme than probably the Cleveland Browns. It's very friendly for quarterbacks. We want to run the ball. We want to run the ball first. We got a coach in Kevin Stefanski. I think he's been coach of the year twice in the last 5 years. A brilliant offensive mind. Some would suggest he's a mastermind offensively, and not a lot of pressure on you if you're Shedeur. Browns have the number 2 overall pick. So is it just about fit and scheme, or do you think that Shedeur isn't necessarily worthy of the number 2, number 3 overall pick?
The last place I want to go is the Cleveland Browns. I don't care about Stefanski. Stefanski's a great coach. The Cleveland Browns is where quarterbacks go to die. And we've seen it time and time and time again. They play in a very difficult division. Even the Giants. I want to go to a team where I do not have to play. Like the Saints, even, I think they picked 9. I think the Saints make a ton of sense for Shedeur Sanders. Like, you're playing indoors, first of all, you don't have to worry about the elements. Second of all, you have a guy that has shown that he has really good offensive schemes in Kellen Moore. And a guy that you can develop, a guy you don't have to play right away, a guy that you can sit for a year behind Derek Carr.
Got it. That's well said. Shedeur McCoy, would it be crazy if Shedeur falls out the top 5?
I think it would be crazy because I think he's a top 5 type of player, especially for this draft. And I think that from him and Cam Ward, I don't see, like, the big gap here. Like,
it's not a big gap.
You saying that Shedeur should sit and not ready to play right away. I don't know if Cam is ready to play right away. I don't know what quarterback is ready to play right away. We just seen Caleb Williams be all-world his whole career, and we got to the NFL with the big boys, and I kept saying, I don't want to judge the kid yet because he's a rookie. And, as a rookie, it's hard. And he showed it was hard, right? So I look at the Giants. You need a quarterback, right? No matter how well Russell plays this year, right? He's not for the future. And you need to give that franchise something to look forward to. It's been bad in New York, man. It's been real bad. And we talk about New York City here, the New York Giants. That's a big brand football right there. And you need a type of player to maximize that type of team. And Shedeur's that guy. I don't just talk about like the fans, the marketing, right, selling seats. I'm not just only talking about that. But you have a perfect fit. He can do that, and he can win you games. Why wouldn't you bring him there? And he can learn from a Hall of Fame quarterback like Russell Wilson. It's a no-brainer, right? And then the last thing is the Tennessee Titans. Like, y'all need a quarterback. I mean, I think Cam is really, really good, but you need to really think hard about this because I keep saying this, man, and there's no disrespect to Cam, but I'm not sure if I'm all the way sold on Cam Ward. I don't know, dog.
Why not?
I'm going to say it again. I've never seen in the whole draft, there's been a lot of busts in these drafts, right? That got a lot of attention. I've never seen a player have 0 stars in high school be the #1 pick overall. I've never seen that.
So high school stars.
It's talent. Some things is God gifted.
You can't develop
when you go
it?
#1 overall, it's like a God gifted thing. Like this dude is talented. Like for example, when I was in high school, Matthew Stafford was the #1 player, #1 quarterback.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So good.
He was that good, right? Then we go to the NFL. Oh, he's #1. Makes sense. Makes sense. Guys like Adrian Peterson, what he went 5th or something like that? Like, it makes sense. You got to sell me on that, right? Like, and that's just hard for me to believe. And I'm not saying it can't happen, but this is just me talking, right? I'm used to being around, when we talk about superstar players, you the number one pick in the draft, you got to be damn good.
Yeah.
And when did you get good? You just got good? When did you get good for me, though? Did you get to Miami? Is the guys around you? See, now I start asking these questions myself. Because it's not about the stars, Chase. It's more of like, who is this person? Is he really that talented to be #1 pick overall? Because now I'm thinking about, well, is it the talent around you? Was it the offensive line? Was it the top 30 rushing team offense you had? I started thinking about different things. And we only really seen him with really one good year, right? I mean, Washington State, we won't count that.
Yeah,
we can, right? I haven't seen a lot of games now. I've been watching some of his tape. But I'm just saying, I start asking questions myself. If I'm going to take the #1 player, I need a true talented player. Can you imagine a world with Brock Purdy, good quarterback, being the #1 pick overall? You can't even imagine that, right? All I'm saying is I just need to see it.
Purdy ain't as good as Cam.
Brock Purdy's not even.
I think
That's not even.
I don't think it would be crazy, but I think Shady is onto something. What I think Shady's onto is, if we're being honest, the quarterback's the most important position.
Okay.
But if you're just grading the talent of those two quarterbacks, I don't think Cam Ward nor Shedeur Sanders are top 5 talents as it pertains to the history of top 5 overall picks. When you think about talent coming out of college of the Kyler Murrays, of the Cam Newtons, of the Joe Burrows, of the Jameis Winstons, like talent coming out of college. I don't know that either of them are top 5 overall picks. That's why it is not crazy to me. I understand Shady's concern. I would say it a little bit differently, but I get it. Cam Ward is not a freakazoid type of athlete. He's not a freakazoid type of talent. He is the best quarterback in this year's draft, I believe, and quarterback's the most important position. Thus, he'll go #1. But I don't think it's crazy that Shedeur will fall. I think Shedeur likely will fall because, James, I don't think that Shedeur is a top 5 talent coming out of college. I do believe he can have a top 5 NFL career, but I don't think he's going to have a top 5 talent coming out of college.
Yeah, and I think that's what the world is trying to tell us. Or I wouldn't say the world, the GMs and the coaches is trying to tell us. Me and Shady think Shedeur is a really good quarterback, top 5 quarterback in the draft. But the GMs and the coaches are saying otherwise. The GM and coaches are saying, talent-wise, he's not a top 5 pick. That's just what they're saying. You hear it in every articles. You hear it by the way people break down his play. They don't believe he's a top 5 quarterback. And when you talk about Travis Hunter and you talk about Abdul Carter, who's probably going to be there at 2 or 3, if you're Cleveland or you're the Giants, how do you pass up on them? So I absolutely will not be surprised if Shedeur falls. But then again, I think that'll be a blessing for Shedeur.
Yeah.
We've seen the great ones fall. We've seen Lamar Jackson fall. We like, what? You taking all these dudes in front of Lamar? We've seen Aaron Rodgers fall to the Green Bay Packers. What? You taking Alex Smith and these dudes in front of Aaron Rodgers? What? We've seen dudes fall and end up in really good situations. Shedeur could fall and end up in a really good situation. He could end up with the Steelers. He could end up with a good defense and playing and learn from Aaron Rodgers. He could end up with the Seattle Seahawks. He can end up starting for that team because Sam Darnold is not the future. So he can fall to a good situation instead of jumping in right now and trying to lead an organization who roster and all that may not be as good and he has to carry the load. He probably can benefit from that.
So we're talking about top 5 picks, right? #1 pick overall. And the Titans need a quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? So, because you do the most part of research.
I watched a lot of college.
Can you name the last 5, 6 first picks overall? Can you name them for me? Caleb Williams, 1.
You got Caleb Williams. I would go Joe Burrow would have been in the last 5. The Jags drafted a defensive line.
Oh, no. I'm just talking about this players. Are you not
number one
quarterbacks?
overall
This number 1 picks overall. Just give me some, you know what I mean?
Caleb, Bryce.
Oh, yeah, Bryce.
He went number 1.
You know quarterbacks. I'm just saying the last 6 years, just give me the first
Bryce.
overall. Okay, Bryce, Caleb, right?
Baker.
Joe.
Burrow.
Right.
Walker.
Okay, no, enough. What I'm saying is, when I research all them dudes been great players since high school.
Yeah, but it's a lot of great players that
But hold on. This is the thing I'm trying to tell you, though. So in a draft, right, it's 2,200 players that get drafted every year, correct?
Yes, something like that. Whatever.
2,200 players, something like that.
Less than that. Like
32 times.
Okay.
about 350. Yeah,
Whatever it is, though, right? We get the chance to get the number 1 player in the draft. You get what I'm saying? A whole full draft. We get to pick the first one. All these teams, we get the first pick. All these players that go out there, they scout them, they go to combine. We get the number 1 pick. And y'all telling me I'm going to go out there and get a dude that just got good?
Well,
I can't do that.
Here's my
That's
thing.
me, because when I look at the Bryce Youngs, I could justify that. And I look at the Burrows, I could justify that. Walker from the Jets, I could justify
You're
that.
talking about just number 1 picks.
Yes.
Not just number 1 pick.
But then the
There's a lot of
can't do that.
It's a lot of people that didn't have stars that win the first round.
And it also,
But I'd rather not take my chance on them guys. You get what I'm saying?
it also comes down to
Joshua had
fit,
0 stars.
though. It also comes down to
That's a
fit. Like,
chance.
what do the Tennessee Titans need? Like, I'm really trying to understand this side of the table in terms of what is wrong with
He's 40, he act like he's 10. I don't get it.
You do act like you're 10.
He's stupid. Shane knows Shane.
I know one thing. If you had 0 stars, I would not draft James. Those are the first pick overall. I would not do it.
This is a good question because I have a question for you
Go
guys.
ahead.
I'm trying
Talk
to
to him, Chase.
understand why are you both so caught up on talent? Like what is? I'm just trying to get into your head.
Acho's
Like,
not a talent.
but he just said that. He
What'd
just
I say?
you pretty much agree with, like, you need talent. Like, I got to have the most
Oh,
talented
no,
guy
I
at
don't
number
believe,
1
truth be
overall.
told, I don't believe that Shedeur nor Cam are number 1 NFL
Yeah,
type
and
of
that's
draft
my thing.
picks.
Is
I don't
like,
believe either of them.
I just don't get the talented thing. I think if you go to the right scheme and right fit and you've shown the right growth and you have the right ceiling to what you can project, because that's what GMs and coaches are doing, it doesn't matter if you're not the most talented guy if you're in a position of need. There's 1,000 guys that were uber talented that didn't work out in the NFL. Like Jamarcus Russell, for one. Jamarcus could throw the pigskin off the freaking football. One of the biggest busts of all time. RG3, other than his first 2 years, injury. Like, talk about talent, right? Sam Bradford, he played well. Sam Darnold.
What's the point? I'm sorry, what's the point?
My point is,
What's the point?
You're trying to say, oh, Cam Ward has 0 stars. He doesn't have talent. He doesn't have this. It doesn't matter if you don't. It's all about fit and scheme.
So what I'm saying is, like, I'm not saying he doesn't have any talent.
Yeah, I was about to say
I'm just saying it's a question mark.
0 stars.
It's a question mark for me. Like, okay, we talking about the number 1 pick overall. So all them guys you talked about, there's some bust, though. You're right. But for us to take the number 1 pick, you got to have some talent. Some dudes is God gifted with stuff that you had.
Yeah, and
my real quick, before I go, Acho, I'm gonna say, like, I don't want to take a chance on a guy that don't have no talent. Tom Brady's the greatest of all time. I think he's the best player we've ever seen. But if I'm a GM today and he's back in the draft, I'm not gonna waste the number 1 pick on him because I don't see the talent. Now you gotta go prove yourself to me. I want a guy that got some talent, some skill.
And
But
for
he do
clarity,
got
I think
talent and skill, though.
Shady's talking about freakazoids. If you're the number 1 overall
need a
pick,
freak.
everybody in the NFL
But that's
got
not
talent.
in the draft this year at quarterback.
No, not at all.
And that's my suggestion. That's where I stand on the ledger.
still need a quarterback.
I don't think Cam nor Shedeur are those number 1 overall types. Like, number 1 overall picks at quarterbacks, you have some freakazoids. Like, say what you will. I think we asked Josh Allen who has the strongest arm in football. He said Baker Mayfield. Yeah. So you might look at Baker and be like, Baker ain't got no talent. Josh Allen came on our show and said that Baker got the strongest arm in football. Cam Newton, a freakazoid. Joe Burrow had all of it in the world, went 15-0 on one of the greatest college teams in the history of football ever. Kyler Murray was a 4.4 running, got drafted out of high school to play MLB baseball.
Type stuff.
But like Kyler Murray had just crazy juice, all these things coming out of college. When I look at Shedeur, when I look at Cam, they just don't have that freak of Stafford, to Shady's point.
And that could be, and
Cam
that could
does, though, in arm strength and arm. Sorry for interrupting. Cam does, though.
Not freak, Shady.
Look. Based on this draft, I don't want to compare them to others.
But you have to.
But you're saying that you think Cam and Shedeur are the same in that terms. Respectfully to Shedeur, he does not have the arm talent not even close right now, that Cam Ward has. That's what the Tennessee Titans have fallen in love with. The fact to throw off multiple different platforms, you can also get out of the pocket, make throws on the run. You can run with all that stuff. That's the reason why Cam Ward is without a doubt going to go number one to the Tennessee Titans.
And we keep saying it because we said if both these dudes came out in last year's draft, they might be the 6th, 7th quarterback taken.
Exactly.
So we said that. But that's not Cam Ward or Shedeur's fault.
Sure.
They are going off of this year's draft. In this year's draft, Cam Ward is the most talented quarterback, whether we like it or not. 0 stars, half a star, 1 star. He's the most talented quarterback when you turn on the Miami Hurricanes tape. He's the most talented quarterback. And everybody keeps saying it.
But James, my thing is, there's a lot of times where guys are bust because these GMs, because y'all keep talking about these GMs like they're so good because they don't know what they're doing either. We see it all the time every year, bad GM play. Anyway, a lot of times when you don't have the talent that I'm talking about for the number 1 pick, you know what you do? You reach. I've been on teams, I'm not going to say the names, I've been on teams where they go out there, reach and get this quarterback. I'm thinking like, yo, this quarterback shouldn't be drafted as high, right? But they do it because they need a quarterback.
No question.
Instead of just waiting and go get a certain free agent that can help out, you know what I mean, do the same thing. But all I'm saying is for the number 1 pick overall, I'm not going to waste on a dude that's talent level.
They need it, though.
But But not only that, some of these dudes they reaching on that are bust are 5 stars.
But here's the problem, though.
But there's more.
But here's my dilemma, though. Here's my dilemma is this. Where I am with Shady is, if you have stars that don't guarantee you going to be successful, right?
Nothing's 100%.
Thank you.
But if you don't, it definitely can decrease the chance of your success. My issue with reaching is, remember, the Steelers needed a quarterback in 2022. Bad quarterback class. They drafted Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett lasted 2 years. He was gone. So if you reach, I don't care if you reach at 1 or if you reach at 22 like the Steelers had to, reaching is never a good thing.
But see, I think that's the difference in this right here, though. Like, we're talking about reaching and all that like Cam Ward's not good.
Yeah.
Cam Ward and Shedeur both are, no. Cam Ward and Shedeur both are good. If you took Shedeur at 1, to me, that's not reaching. You took the best quarterback in the draft.
But that's reaching, James. What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.